November 1st, 1861. Command shift. President Abraham Lincoln appointed Major General George B. McClellan as General-in-Chief of the United States Armies, succeeding Lieutenant General Winfield Scott. McClellan's elevation followed his earlier promotion to Commander of the Army of the Potomac and stemmed from his demonstrated ability to organize and train troops after the Union defeat at First Bull Run. By assuming the top military post, McClellan became not only the primary field commander but the central figure in directing the Union war effort. McClellan had risen rapidly. After service in the Mexican-American War, he entered civilian life as a railroad executive before the outbreak of Civil War. The defeat of Union forces at First Bull Run in July 1861 prompted Lincoln to call McClellan to Washington, where he took command of Union troops defending the capital. He then created the Army of the Potomac from the gathered volunteer units. The appointment on November 1st placed him at the apex of Union military leadership, charged with strategy, troop deployment, logistics, and the defense of the national capital. The change in command held symbolic weight. It marked the transition from the old guard leadership of Scott, a Mexican war veteran from the anti-war regular army, to a younger officer shaped by the unique demands of the Civil War. McClellan's appointment signaled that the war would require large-scale operations, professional training, and centralized direction rather than the more limited provincial armies of the early war period. In practical terms, McClellan's appointment affected shifts in Union strategy and organization. He initiated systematic training programs, improved discipline within the Army of the Potomac, and oversaw the construction of extensive fortifications around Washington. The Army's numbers swelled as McClellan managed the recruitment and incorporation of tens of thousands of volunteers, transforming the force into the largest army yet seen on North American soil. He embraced the challenge of turning raw militia and volunteer units into a coherent fighting force capable of sustained operations. McClellan's assumption of command also affected civil-military relations. His role required regular interaction with President Lincoln and the War Department, setting the stage for tensions over authority, strategy, and pace of operations. McClellan's cautious approach toward launching offensive action occasionally clashed with Lincoln's growing urgency for decisive movement against Confederate forces. The relationship between the civilian leadership and military command thus became more visibly contested as the war deepened. Furthermore, the appointment reflected the strategic moment facing the Union in late 1861. The Confederacy remained strong but had not consolidated its full military capacity. The Union still retained resources and manpower advantage. McClellan's task was to leverage that advantage by building a field army capable of striking into Confederate territory and capturing Richmond, the rebel capital. The dual responsibilities he assumed, organizing the National Army and commanding its primary field force, underscored the gravity of the war effort and the expectation of ambitious operational goals. While McClellan's tenure in the dual role lasted only until March 11, 1862, when Lincoln relieved him of the general-in-chief duties to focus solely on the Army of the Potomac, the November 1st appointment remains a key moment in the Union war effort. It crystallizes the shift from small-scale war to mass army war under centralized leadership. The selection of McClellan, his rapid rise, and the changes instituted under his command had lasting implications for how the United States waged the Civil War. In summary, the appointment on November 1, 1861, of George B. McClellan as General-in-Chief marked a turning point in Union military structure. It represented a practical and symbolic move toward a professionalized, expansive war effort under centralized leadership. It revealed changes in war aims, organizational needs, and command philosophy. The date stands as a milestone in the Civil War timeline, one that highlights how leadership decisions at the top shaped the conduct of the war. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.